Okay, very nice. So a few other people are going to be coming in probably as we move along here, but I'll start again. Good evening and good morning, David. Good evening to the rest of you, probably. Um, Welcome to After Hours. So for David, I guess it's not really after hours. It's office hours for you. But welcome anyways. And glad you are all here. I recognize David. I recognize some other names. I don't know some of the other people we haven't met yet. So we're going to meet today. We're all going to meet. A few other people can't make it. A few other people are going to come in, but we're recording this. If you guys want a copy of the recording, I can send it to you afterwards. And I'll go from there. So we're on for an hour, and basically we are here to get to know each other and also discuss where you're at in your business. And if you have questions, if you're looking for feedback, either from myself, other people in the group that are here, this is a great, safe environment to do that. And just get more people in. And so on and so forth. So what I'm going to do is I'll quickly introduce myself. I do then want to go around and get to know all of you as well. And then we'll get into discussion. So if there's something specific you want to discuss, or an area, a challenge, or you're just looking for feedback, don't be shy. This is what this is for. So you can come here, you can get mentored on a certain issue, maybe coached on an issue, just simply get feedback. And there's people in different areas of business, different years in business here today. And that's what this is for. It's really for us to just sort of chat about business, about life, and go from there. So for those of you who don't know me, you can see on the screen, my name is Marshall Stern, and I've been a serial entrepreneur for the better part of my entire life and had multiple businesses. I had a sign and graphics business for 29 years, which I just sold 4.5 months ago. And I have a coaching company, coaching and mentoring business I've had for the last 12 years. And basically I work with entrepreneurs and I help them really get focused and get traction and build momentum so they can achieve the business that serves their life, not the other way around. Business that serves their life. Build a business that they are proud of and passionate about. Let's just go around the room right now and get to know each other. Tell us, short little intro. Just tell us a little bit who you are, what's your business, who you are, where you are currently, a little bit about your business, and maybe how long you've been in business for. Let's start with tomorrow, being David, because it is tomorrow where David is, and just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thanks, Marshall. My name is David Monteith. Marshall stole my thing. I'm kind of a serial entrepreneur as well. For my entire adult business life, I've bounced back and forth from corporate life to running my own business, sometimes simultaneously. I'm currently running a bookkeeping / accounting business with a very specific focus on working with food and beverage owners, so coffee shops, food trucks, restaurants, franchise chains, all that kind of stuff. And as of about 48 hours ago, I became a partner in more of a general accounting business based in the Fraser Valley, just east of Vancouver. And they are focused on sort of everything other than food and beverage. So it's a really neat fit for me to be involved with that. For me, being self-employed meant giving up the security of every other Friday paycheck, along with health benefits, medical benefits, paid time off, all those wonderful things. But the exchange, the offset for that for me is the freedom to live where I want to live, work when I want to work, work with the clients that I want to work with, not who my employer tells me I have to work with. And to that end, as Marshall alluded, I actually live in the Philippines. I moved here from the Fraser Valley a little over 4 years ago. It's 4 years in August that I moved here. And that's been one of the biggest blessings of being self-employed, is being able to, I run a virtual business. I don't physically meet with my clients very often. I do try and see them when I come to Canada. But I work at distance virtually with all of my clients. And that has given me the ability to travel and live where I want to live. That's kind of me in a nutshell.
Awesome. And when you're back in the Lower Mainland?
I'm planning my next trip for landing in Vancouver, sort of the middle of May next year, second or third week of May.
Okay, well, we do have to get together this time.
Absolutely, yes.
You ditched me last time.
But I know.
I'm sorry. We never got up. Yeah. So
I'm a terrible person.
I'm holding you. You're not a terrible person. Definitely hold you to that. Awesome. Thank you. Is it Alvaro?
Yep.
Alvaro?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. So yeah, I'm Alvaro. Basically, I'm in Vancouver. I'm originally from Spain. Came here around 11 years ago or so, maybe a little bit longer. Time passed quite quickly. And yeah, I started working in the film industry, animation, but I've always had a kind of passion to do something else. I didn't know what, so I just knew I wanted something that I could build by myself without like a huge team. Everything in films gets in animation, you need a huge team to do something decent. So I wanted to figure out what I can do that I can start by myself. And always I had in mind something related to websites, something online, because it gives you a lot of flexibility. And you could build something that is somewhat automatic. So I started learning web development and all that kind of stuff by myself for 3, 4, 5 years. And for the past year and a half, I've been building Activity Finder. We are an online marketplace for activities, and we just started in Vancouver. So we're at the point where we have the marketplace working, all the purchases and listings and onboarding of businesses working, and it's just at the point where we need to start growing, we need to start onboarding businesses, and we need to start selling. So yeah, just came here just to learn more and learn from experienced people.
Awesome. So what's the website called?
Activity Finder.
It's activityfinder.com.
Yeah.
It's a good URL. It's awesome. Okay, perfect. Well, thanks for coming.
Yep.
Alejandra, how are you?
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, well, my name is Alejandra. You can call me Alex. And just like Alvaro, I've been learning web design and web development in the last few years. During the pandemic, I realized that it's something that I wanted to learn since like many, many years ago. But I've been focusing more on WordPress websites because, well, that's actually what got me more curious about it. So I've been learning about like SEO, search engine optimization for like, being found online and just WooCommerce. Um, I am in the process of like I'm building a different website because I want to change the layout and the design and everything because I don't like the one that I currently have. But yeah, I'm just like Alvaro. I like the flexibility and the versatility that you can like learn and work on different projects. I'm not where Alvaro is, like he's more advanced, large scale websites, which is, great to learn from other people. That's why we're here. But yeah, I've been focusing on web design and web development. I can do like branding and web graphic design, but I find that what I've been getting more interest from people is the actual web design. Like they make themselves their logo, or they usually have the branding itself. So pretty much that's what I'm doing right now. And I'm hoping that next year I'll be more ready to, with just a nicer look, better presentation of my website and business. So I'm happy to be here. Nice to meet everybody.
Hoping
Yeah.
we're gonna change that, because hoping, here's the
Okay.
thing. The mentorship starts right now. here's the thing, when we say hoping, it's really releasing yourself from everything. It's putting it into the universe, it's putting it into other people's hands. You don't have full control. So rather than just, it's simple. I mean, it's just words of semantics, but rather than saying hoping, my plan is to, or I am going to.
Yeah.
That's it. Seriously.
Yeah.
A lot of us say, but I mean, naturally, a lot of us say, yeah, I hope to do this. I hope to lose weight. I hope to get in shape. I hope to get married. I hope to earn a lot of money. I hope to have whatever. Hope. I mean, you can have hope for certain things, but when it comes to things that we have control over, let's just do it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So I just want to
Thank you.
catch on that. Want to catch on that.
Thank you.
Okay. Wade, can you hear me? Are you there? Don't have a micro video. Okay, you're just in. Okay, perfect. Okay, so just listen in. If you have any questions, if you're not driving, as long as you're not driving, then you can use the chat. Kathy, how are you?
Not doing too bad, thank you. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. I'm well.
Good.
So
Good.
yeah, we're just going around quickly, like just introduction, who, where, what.
Who are, where, what? Okay. So my name is Kathy. I am in Edmonton, Alberta, and for the past year and a half, about a year and a half ago now, I launched a training and development business called HSI. HSI stands for Human Service Industry, Training and Development. And what that business does is train the staff, the frontline workers who work with people with disabilities, particularly developmental disabilities. So I have about 3 courses that I am endeavoring to get connected to organizations, smaller organizations that might not have internal training for their staff. And so I want to be the go-to person when they don't have the internal training that they need to teach their staff.
I love that. It's awesome. Perfect. Thank you. And where are you located?
In Edmonton,
Oh,
Alberta.
yes, Edmonton.
Yeah.
Edmonton. So Edmonton, Philippines. Alvaro, where you're in Vancouver?
Vancouver, yeah.
Vancouver. Alejandra, Newsweek. I know you're also here. How are you?
Oh, sorry.
Good. So I'm in Coquitlam, BC, and my name is Nusri. And I've been running an educational consulting business for the last 30 years on my own. And ever since joining with Marshall, I am now considering more momentum with it and getting partners. And I'm now offering courses to adults. I have been an online teacher and offering courses to students up to age 18 only. So I'm expanding.
Awesome. Thank you. So yeah, so Nusri had mentioned she mentioned Momentum. So Momentum is a program that I think we started it in late September. I launched it. We launched in beta version, and it's basically a group that we meet twice, actually 3 times a month. And there's trainings, there's a Facebook group, and it's awesome. It's a nice group of people. So if you're ever interested in that,
and accountability. There's accountability.
It's all about accountability. Yeah, it's all about building out accountability, time blocking, building momentum, doing the right action steps. So if anyone's ever interested, it's an ongoing enrollment. You can come in at any time. You can just come in and just check out a meeting if you're ever interested. See if it's for you. Okay, so here we go. Who would like to start us off with a question for the group, or for myself, or for anyone really, of where they're currently at? I have questions I can always ask, but I know some of you have burning questions. It's the awkward silent moment.
Maybe I can start if
Yes,
nobody else wants.
Yes, go for it.
So yeah, basically we're at the point where we're still working. It's my girlfriend and I, we both started this, and we're still working full time. And we're paying our rent and food with what we're earning. and anything extra that we are earning, we're planning on putting it into the company to try to grow it. So one of our biggest goals right now is to hire somebody who would be in charge of anything related to marketing. So as Alejandro said, that could be SEO, social media, managing social media accounts, could be paid advertising on social media or Google Ads, reaching out to influencers. We would also need some sort of budget for all those kinds of paying for advertisement. Our idea is, how do we best manage our budget? Or maybe if you have any ideas, or where should we focus? Because we don't have a lot. It's all only what we have extra from our income.
Okay. So you launched this when?
So we've been building it. Technically, last week was our first vendor that signed up with us. So we just got one activity. We have around 130 activities listed in Vancouver, but they have all been activities that we've added ourselves. They're not actually being sold. It is more like an encyclopedia of activities that people can search for. It's a place that they know they're going to be able to find everything there is to do in one single location. Other websites, they only list things that they're selling. And we want to be a place where you're going to be able to find everything. So you don't have to kind of navigate through forums and different blog posts. So it's one single place. So we onboarded our first vendor. So we're really new. We haven't gotten any sales yet.
Okay. So it's all about, I guess, just let Andrea in here. A moment here. So the question's about, is it about how much to spend, or how do you budget, or where to spend the money specifically?
Yeah, it's more like let's say we are planning on spending between $4,000 and $5,000 a month on everything that we can spend on. So like how to best divide, should we put the majority of this? I think marketing is a big thing to bring users in. That way we can convince after businesses being like, hey, we had this amount of users coming in last month, or we have this amount of budget that we're going to be giving users as discounts to be the first customers of the website. So if you sign up with us, you're going to take advantage of this.
Okay. I'm curious, does anybody have any feedback just from, David?
I've got a whole bunch to say on this one, so I'll try and keep it brief. First thing is, you mentioned a figure for your budget. My best number one piece of advice for you is stick with your budget. Do not work with a marketing firm, a marketing person, or people, plural, who are suggesting that you go above what a budget is that you're comfortable with. Marshall, I'm sure you'll echo this, that the more you can spend on advertising is almost always better, but don't spend money you don't have on advertising and marketing at this point in your business. Do not go into debt to advertise and to market your business. The $4,000 to $5,000 a month figure that you give is substantial, especially for a homegrown startup. Like, you're not like a venture capital backed startup kind of thing that has a bottomless pit of money. So number one, stick with your budget. Don't let anybody tell you, that's not going to be effective. It has to be 10,000, or, if you can do 4 or 5, can you do 6? Stick with your budget. And if they won't work with your budget, cut them out, go find somebody else. There's lots of people out there that can do it. That's my biggest one. The other one, just a question for you. So Activity Finder, you're building this as a platform where users can go on and find different things to do in the Metro Vancouver area, or are you a bigger geographically than Metro Vancouver?
So right now it's just Vancouver, but we are planning on expanding to all Canada and US after.
Okay. So again, coming back to your budget, $4,000 or $5,000 a month is healthy if you're localizing in Vancouver at this point.
Define healthy, David. Define healthy.
It's, if you were looking at going like Canada wide to begin with, or North America wide, $5,000 a month isn't going to get you any noise in a geography that big. Vancouver, Metro Vancouver is a very finite number of people, and geography. So your budget is not super tiny for a market that size. Again, if you were trying to do, bigger cities like Los Angeles or New York, might be a little thin. And if you're trying to do like nationwide Canada or North America wide, that's a really tiny budget given that geography and the number of people. But you can, I don't know how much beyond a marketing firm, you could also look at, if you have specific types of business that you're trying to bring in as clients, is you can try and target those business in addition to doing, whether it's Google ads or Facebook ads or LinkedIn ads, whatever is going to work for the type of businesses you want to bring in as customers. And I'm assuming that who you want to market to originally is you want to market to people that are going to advertise on your site. Is that kind of the correct business model?
No, it's people that they want to sell their activities through us. So
right,
similar how somebody just sells shoes on Amazon. So it would be the same. We would get the payment, take a commission, and pay the rest to the business. Something like Groupon. You could think similar.
Okay. But you're initially trying to bring on vendors, suppliers of services, as opposed to trying to find customers and users.
I think it's a mix of both, because a lot of people, a lot of businesses and vendors, they ask, well, how many users do you have? How many people? So I think we're trying to trying to put a little bit 50-50. I think with the businesses is more that when we reach to them, we need to appear really professional and really clean. Because once you reach out to a business and they're not sure and they say, oh no, you've lost that business for at least for a year, and you only have a finite amount of businesses in Vancouver, right? So you need to be very careful of how you approach each one.
Yeah, it's almost like the chicken and the egg thing. Do you get vendors first, or do you get end users, customers first? It's a tough one. So I'll cut off there and let other people input. But the big one is stick with your budget. Don't let somebody coerce you into spending more than what you have. The more will come as you gain vendors, as you gain customers. You start becoming revenue generating. You can reevaluate your budget, but don't let somebody convince you that you have to spend $10,000 a month in order to get any success. You don't.
No, thank you, David. And no, that was awesome. I'm glad you raised your hand. I'm going to go to Andrea in a second, because I'm glad you're here. Because she's in a similar business, similar like online. So she's got some feedback for you. The one thing I do want to, you're all moving on my screen. The one thing I do want to say, so what David mentioned about the budget. Well, actually, let's back up for a second. For the rest of you, you might not be in a space where or even at a point where you think of spending $5,000-$6,000 on advertising to promote your business. It could be $400. Maybe down the road, it'll be $400. The point I'm trying to make is, when we get into these discussions with, one of the other participants here today, you might find something, you might learn something, because it might not be your exact situation, but one day it might be, right? And even not just the questions, but the responses, like the feedback that David gave. So one thing with marketing agencies, Alvaro, yes, you have to be very, very careful. First of all, online advertising is really expensive. And it goes through ebbs and flows. I've tried doing it myself. I've hired agencies to do it. This past year, especially, I don't know what it's like right now. Earlier in the spring, it was really, really expensive. You weren't getting a lot of conversions. It was very expensive. One thing David said, and I'm going to give it over to Andrea. The one thing David said is, yes, stick to the budget. Don't go over, because a lot of these agencies will tell you what they want you to do. It's what's in their best interest. Very few times it's in your best interest. So they will try to sell you on doing it this way, right? Give us thousands and thousands of dollars. We'll do this.
Yeah, just a point there. Like, I'm not going to be hiring any agency. I've been looking for somebody that has, and I almost already have her in the team. It's a girl that's been working in marketing for 15, 16 years. right now she's just looking for something part-time, and she'll be working side by side with me, and just we'll be making decisions together on how to best. So yeah, I'm not somebody that likes to just say, hey, here's money, you take care of it. Like, I want to know how everything works and understand, like, okay, why is this expensive? And if she's going to be using any tools or anything, I will 100% know how they work. So I can be like next to her, be like, oh, why don't we try this? Why don't we try this?
But they will come after you. The more they start seeing, they're out there, they're lurkers.
Oh yeah.
And they'll see you and they will come after you and they'll try to sell you on using them. So that was just the one thing. Before we go over to Andrea, quick question for you. Who is your ideal client? Or who do you think will be the ideal client for your platform?
Yeah, so I think the ideal person is it would be someone that has started working, has the money to spend on cool, unique activities, but they don't have kids yet. They don't have too much responsibilities. So maybe that age range between maybe 20 and 34, something like that. They have a little bit of extra budget. They want to go hang out with their friends or coworkers on the weekend, and they want to find cool things to do, or with their girlfriend or boyfriend, or even just gift somebody, instead of something material, gift like an experience or an activity that they can do and remember.
Now, are you charging the activities?
What do you mean by
like
charging?
the partners, like the
vendors?
So I guess it's the vendors, yeah.
Yeah, we take a commission on each sale.
On the sale. Okay. Andrea, welcome.
Hi. Welcome to
just
me.
a little
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
I'm late.
Give a little background, because I think it's good context for where Alvaro is. So everyone's moving on my screen. Just tell us who you are, where you're from, where you are now, and what you do. And
Yeah. So sorry I'm late. That is very disrespectful, but I was with a client actually. I'm 28. I'm Mexican. I live now in Vancouver. I've been here for over a year. My experience is mostly in marketing. I've been working in marketing for more than 7 years in larger companies. And I love creating my own business, and I want to just dedicate myself to that. So I have 3 right now that I'm trying to grow so that I can leave my full-time job and just dedicate myself to them. I have a yacht rental company in Mexico and a digital marketing agency, and I'm starting to co-create one that's gonna use large language models and artificial intelligence to make processes more efficient for different companies. So, and I talk a lot. So I'll raise my hand a lot.
No, that's okay. So the yacht, did you mention the yacht?
Yeah, the yachts. Yeah.
So maybe what's your feeling on ad spends, budgets for online?
Yeah, I will say more from a marketing and digital marketing experience. Most of the agencies want to have more budget because it's easier for them to demonstrate any type of KPI when they have more investment. In my personal experience, the best way to go is to start really low, because one thing that can help one person and one business is not always going to help others. And the same, you can replicate the same exact formula for a sunglasses e-commerce store and a t-shirt, and it's not going to be the same. So I would say start small, start with different segmentations, not only have one ad set. And the way that has been helping me to run digital ads, and I'll try to be brief, is trying to make ads for every step of the funnel. So the marketing funnel starts with the top tier, which is reach. Try and reach as many people as you can that are within your target audience. In the objective that you will program within your like meta business or whatever platform you're using, use reach. Then go to the engagement part. For the reach part, try and do a video or something short between 30 seconds, 45 seconds that will attract a lot of people. And the objective or what you want to do is for people to try and understand what your business is about. So get them excited. You don't want them to do any action there, but only see your business. Then do something with engagement. To do something with engagement, you need to be attractive enough so that people, the objective there is for people to click on your ad and go to your website or wherever you want people to land. So I would say website in your case. I would do something static that it's really like popping your eyes. I want to see what's in there. That's the engagement part. And when you program those ads within your platform, the objective should be generate more engagement. And then the last one should be conversion. When you try to do conversion, Meta Business can track those conversions to your website if your website is properly connected to your ads platform, whatever you're using. So I would, whatever works there is something that has a very strong call to action, like a discount, an offer, something that's attractive to them. If you have, that's very technical and I'm happy to jump on another call one-on-one, but if you have them in your website as a catalog of products, you can program that using Facebook and Instagram so that whenever people are looking, whatever appears on their ads is something similar as what they're looking for. The reason I do those three things as a base is because you can remarket one with the other. So whenever people see your video, you can retarget them with the other two ads. Whenever people visit your website, there's a configuration you can use in Meta Business or Google or whatever to retarget those who visit your website and so on. So that way you will have more. I always tell my clients that it's like throwing darts and you're trying to hit a target, but if you have more tools, it's easier and more probable for you to hit it. So if you do those three things, I would almost ensure you that you'll have better results. And I would start really, really small. Like if you have $4,000, I would really only invest maybe 200 for a week and see how it performs. Have 2 or 3 assets of creative so that you know which ones are more attractive to your target audience and go from there. Whatever is working for you only is the only formula that you'll get results on. And once you start building on that, then when you have a base of maybe 1,000 unique users in your website or whatever, you can invest more money and it's going to be better because you'll have a better base to tell the algorithm what kind of people you're looking for in a nutshell.
Awesome.
I hope it helps.
Yeah, it's really helpful. And I was just gonna ask, and maybe this would take too long to dive into, but since right now we only have one vendor, let's say, you know, we're able to onboard a few more within the week. If we're bringing all the customers into our just domain, into the generic website, activityfinder.com, where all the listings are shown, it's very hard for those people to convert because it is very unlikely that they will click on the one that we're actually selling. So do you think we should create marketing campaigns targeting just the activities that we're selling, saying, like, for example, if there's a soap, a class where they make you, they teach you how to make soap, would you just create an ad, be like, oh, craft classes for craft, making your own soap, or would you still target just the whole website as a whole and let people navigate and hope that they buy something?
I would say, now that you put it that way, my advice would be to create a marketing plan, maybe a plan on a page, and just present that to vendors and say, I know this is new, but this is a plan that I have to actually attract consumers. First get the vendors and then get the users, because the users will flow as soon as you start your advertising, like investment. Unique users will flow. Like unique visits is the easiest way or the cheapest form of advertising that you can get both in Meta Business or Google Max Performance, whatever you prefer. It's the easiest and cheapest way. So I would compromise, like I would start with vendors, telling them what is your plan to attract those consumers and get them on board. Maybe just have one free month for the, like, and if it works for them and they book some, then they can start paying or whatever. And bringing unique users is really, really easy. And then for what you currently have, I would start posting on that, maybe a pre-sale or a teaser on other activities that you'll have, just to build a community on social media. And I would target specifically for conversions. Then the bottom of the funnel, I would just do that segmentation for what you're currently selling.
I have to say something. It's brilliant. So Andrea, I have to actually bring you into the business inner circle. Talk about this later and have you do a training, because the way you're explaining it, I've listened to other people. I've had in my sign company, I've had marketing agencies sit down with me. I've reached out to them and I've wanted to exposure or whatever, what have you. And like I said earlier, and what David said, like they're going to sell you what they want, what's in their best interest. And the fact that you came out and said, you know what, instead of focusing on getting the users, get the vendors. Right. And I think so. I just want to acknowledge you for that, because I think it's I think it's brilliant. I think it's really good sound advice, personally.
Thank you. Yeah, whatever you need, I'm here to help.
I second what Marshall said. I'm not a marketer, but I have a pretty good understanding of digital marketing. And the way you've just explained that in the last 5-6 minutes is perhaps the most thorough explanation and understandable explanation that I've ever heard. So
thank you.
That's your fourth business. I know you already do. I know you're already in the marketing business. Now you can have a training. You can train marketers.
I'm here to help, free of charge, and whoever needs an agency, just call me. But I'm here free of charge, just to help.
Yeah, no, I was kidding about the fourth business. You just focus on this. But seriously,
here to help.
So I think that I agree. So I just want to say, and then we'll I want to go on to other questions too. But Alvaro, now that we discuss it more, I'm on board with Andrea 100%. In I think get as many vendors as you can. Right, because the problem is if you only have, let's say, 2 vendors, and you want to spend $4,000, $5,000 a month on users, it's going to be very hard to make money. You're going to be spending a lot of money for 2 vendors, and finding those unique visitors or users for those 2 events.
Yeah, so maybe saving that budget for a few months and then just put it all at that once we have a bunch of vendors, just to
still start slow
push.
though.
Well,
what you said, still start slow, because the algorithms, it takes time. I can't remember, Andrew, what it's called, but they have to get to know. It has to learn. It's in learning mode, right?
Yeah, it's learning, but I can tell you that in my experience in a website like that, in less than 3 months, you'll be converting if you have the proper experiences, if you have the proper SEO, if you have the proper segmentation. It's really easy to convert there. I don't know if conversion, but I can tell you unique visitors is, you will get it with $200 in a week, for sure.
Yeah,
you want to, I don't know, an eloquent way to say this, but you want to make your mistakes with your ad copy or your ad visuals, the actual graphics. You want to make that on a $200 a week budget rather than a $2,000 a week budget. Find out what works, what resonates with people. And as Andrew said, the stuff that people are following up on, people are clicking. You want to get that ad copy and the ad graphics nailed down. You don't want to spend, $2,000, $4,000, $6,000, $8,000 on bad ad copy, throwing out ads with bad copy. Figure that out on a low budget, see what's resonating with people, and then scale up.
Yeah. And you'll start to see what experiences people are looking for as well. And that can also help you in a sales pitch. So if people are asking for hiking experiences, constantly asking you, and you're pitching a hiking company, then your slide 1 should be a screenshot of everyone asking already for your hikes. Right. And that's your sales pitch.
Awesome. Thank you.
Perfect.
Yeah, for
awesome.
sure.
Awesome, thank you. Okay, who's next? I'm not gonna say anything now, just I'm waiting. Everyone's good. Everyone is where they're at in their business, where they want to be.
All right, I'll throw out the next one.
Okay.
I do a lot of direct email marketing. And they're fairly targeted. Like I say, my current niche with this business is with food and beverage operators. So restaurants primarily. My perfect, fantasy client is a multi-unit franchise owner. So the guy that owns 6 Starbucks across a geographic area, or I'm finding more and more somebody who owns a couple of like Domino's, and then a couple of what's the ice cream shop? I can't think of it. Stone Cold. So they might own a couple of Stone Colds and they own a couple of Domino's. That's like my perfect client avatar. Doesn't mean I don't want to also work with independent coffee shops or food trucks or anything like that, but if I could fill my entire roster, it would be all with clients that own 6 franchise units, and have an entire business roster made of those people. So I find leads where companies across the spectrum are actively looking for a bookkeeper for their restaurant, their coffee shop, their whatever. And I do email outreach. I have a 4 email sequence that I send out, and I've been doing it for a year or more. Not a high volume. I've done 300 or 400 like potential clients. And my click rate, my open rate is under 50%, which I'm pretty happy with. I know in direct email marketing, click rates are like in single digits a lot of times. But my conversion rate is next to 0. I'm getting very, very few people. Like they'll click on the links in my email, they'll click on my Instagram, they'll click on my LinkedIn profile. But nobody's clicking on the reply button and saying, hey, let's have a conversation. So my question for the group is, if you were just hypothetically looking for a bookkeeper and you received an email from a bookkeeping firm, and it's clear from my emails that it's not just me, the bookkeeper, working in my spare bedroom, what would your reaction to that be? And what I'm learning is that the mindset of a lot of people looking for a bookkeeper is they want a physical person who's going to come to their place of business so that they can meet at the local coffee shop. For whatever reason, I'm not quite sure. In a virtual world, it's different. But what would your reactions be to receiving an email like that if it was outside of the scope of what you thought you were looking for? And I don't know if I worded that quite right, but I think the gist is there.
Okay, so I went through this. I had a bookkeeper for like 20 years, and then for my sign company, and she decided to retire. Thank God she hadn't retired, but she decided to retire the first time. Move to Mexico, retire with her then boyfriend, and so she started to look for a replacement, and all the replacements were virtual, and I didn't want virtual because that required a lot of work on my end. A lot more work, scanning all my, back, this is like 7 years ago, everything was paper. So I think the first thing, if you're getting clicks but you're not getting conversions, regardless of what the service is, I think the first thing is to look at what's the offer in there, what's the messaging, because something's obviously not resonating.
Yes.
On the other side, right? So if it's a virtual thing, like if you had sent me something saying I'm a virtual bookkeeper, my company's virtual bookkeeping service, and I didn't want that, automatically I'm like, no. So maybe hide the virtual part first. But because you want to have a chance to be able to soften it and explain it's not so scary, right? My question to you is, what's the biggest pain points for new customers that you get when you take them over? When they come to you, why did they come to you? What are they struggling with that you can help them with?
The biggest recurring theme is the owner is doing the bookkeeping themselves. whether they've been doing it since they started,
Okay.
last year or 10 years ago. I brought on a client early this year who has been in the restaurant business for 5 years, 6 years,
Mhm.
and he's now up to 7 locations, and he's been doing all of the books by himself for that period of time. And he finally reached the point where he was spending more than 40 hours a week trying to do the bookkeeping and not actually managing his investments. But that's a recurring thing, is the owner tries to do it themselves in the beginning, and they reach a point, either they've missed some tax filing, sales tax deadlines, or it's just encompassing their whole life doing their bookkeeping that they realize they need help. So that's the biggest one. The other one is actually your scenario, Marshall, where the bookkeeper is either A, retiring, or B, has run out of room and they're dropping clients. Usually done respectfully and with lots of warning, but it's for whatever reason they need a new bookkeeper, and it's not always a bad thing that their bookkeeper is messed up. Those are the 2 biggest of the clients that I have.
Yeah, I think for all of us, again, without seeing the copy, I see your posts that you do on Instagram, and I see your posts, but without seeing the copy from the direct mail, it's difficult to know. But
sure.
If something they're not resonating with something, so there needs to be some sort of offer to, whether it's a conversation with you, or it could be a training, like a quick little added value video content that you're sharing with them. Do you talk in your, where'd you go? There you are. Did you talk in your email piece, your direct mail piece, and the follow-up emails? Do you talk about them working crazy hours, like sort of that elephant in the room of?
I don't have them memorized. I've got too many other things in my brain, but I don't think I talk to that point. It's usually talking from a, hey, you need a new bookkeeper, because most of these people are advertising for a bookkeeper. I'm finding them from like job boards and things like that. So they've put out to the internet universe, hey, I'm looking for a bookkeeper. So they're not totally like cold emails where I'm just randomly contacting business owners. It's people that have expressed a need for a bookkeeper, whether it's a new one or a first time or whatever it is.
And what separates you? What makes your firm so special compared to someone else?
The biggest thing is that I specialize in food and beverage. That's like I have actually 2 clients out of my entire roster that are not food and beverage, and they both came as direct referrals. So it would have been challenging to have said no, and it doesn't affect my operations at all. I promote myself on the fact that I'm only food and beverage. That's who I serve. The testimonials that I have on my website are all from restaurant owners. I recently added a scrolling bar on my website that has the logos of some of the brands that I work with. And it was fun to be able to add some franchises to that list when I brought in my first couple of franchise clients, because it's instant name recognition.
Okay.
So
you guys have been patient. So we'll go to Alvaro, see what you have to say.
Yeah, just something that I always feel like if I'm looking for something, I want to find it myself. If I get an email about it, it just might be in the same company, but it doesn't have as much value as if I found it just by when I was doing my research. So because so many you get so much spam and so many companies. So how do you stand out from all of those other people that might be emailing? One of the things that happened to us, and when we signed up to HubSpot, they actually emailed us with a custom video saying, hey, this is me from HubSpot. I've seen, and they had our website and they were scrolling through it while they were talking. I see you guys from this company, you were doing this. And, I was wondering if you could set up a meeting. And just that custom video, you said you're doing like around 400. Is it per year? You said in the last...
I've done around 400 over the last 12 or 13 months. So I'm doing, 20 or 30 a month.
Yeah. So 20 or 30 a month, you can push them out in one day. Just custom videos, say, hey, I'm specialized in food and beverages. We just expanded our team and we're looking for new customers or whatever. I don't know your exact business, but something like that. And just so you know, I'm here, so they can see a face and a person, normal person, that they can like look in the face and be like, oh, this guy, they're targeting us because they think we are a good fit. They made a custom video, and that could be like really, really powerful to stand out from the
Okay.
rest.
Just one question on that. I really love the idea of video, and I do a lot of video for my social media stuff. The video that you said HubSpot. Did it come as an embedded video in the email, or was it a link you had to click on to?
I would
like,
have
when it
to
opened up a
check
YouTube
that.
or something?
I've got into, I've got from a few different digital marketers, and it was like, I think it was a Loom video. It's
Okay.
usually embedded, so it doesn't click away from the email. It's usually right in the email.
Okay.
And I was very impressed the first time I got it, because they were
Alright.
talking about me, they were showing my website. I knew what they were doing, obviously, right?
So you were in the advertising business. You
I knew,
understand that.
obviously, yeah, right. But they actually took the time to actually do it, and I booked a call with them. It ended up being like a sort of switch and bait kind of company, so
Right.
I was a little bit burned, right? But the one thing I would say, and you could do this in a video, because people really love the video, seeing video, and it really does personalize it, is just tell it, like, call it what it is. Like, if they are looking, if they're out there looking, basically just say, hey, you might be looking, it can be very confusing, looking to switch, or it could be scary, switching. And then you could, it's more about them.
Right.
Tapping into what they're feeling, and then inviting them into even like a 15-minute chat or something. Because, no obligation, that kind of stuff. And just see, Andrea, you've been very patient. Your hand must be sore.
I told you that I talk a lot.
So
Yeah,
good.
I second everything that has been said here. And the other thing that I would do is with direct emailing, what I've seen worked in my experience is also giving the client something of value to actually look forward to open your email. So what I've done in the past, if you have that database, is not only send an email to promote yourself, but also use that as a tool to educate your consumers. So what I do with my clients normally is we write together. You can also use like Copy AI or ChatGPT or whatever tool you feel comfortable in using to write some like simple newsletters. I don't know which type of platform you are using to send your emails, but MailChimp, for example, has a free version that you can use up until I think 10,000 emails or 1,000 emails, I'm not sure. And they have separate like different templates for newsletters. What I would do is to program maybe 2 or 3 newsletters that you can send. And that's your way to prove also like your value and your expertise overall. I would focus specifically if you're targeting food and beverage, I would like do blog entries or newsletters specifically on that nobody else knows, only you. And then the other thing that I've seen, when you have a lot of open rates but no conversion, normally, and it's just my guess, the consumer, whomever that is, doesn't know what to do with your links. So you have all the information there, but the call to action maybe is not as clear. So if you do or include a very obvious call to action, like if you want to know more, book some time with me in this link, or if you want to go know more, visit my website, or if you, I would love to talk to you, can you give me 5 minutes of your time and just click on this link or whatever. Like maybe the call to action is not as
clear or strong as it could be.
Clear, just and I'm gonna say something that might be too Mexican, but I'll try to translate in my best way. Consumers are stupid. We all are. You need to tell them what to do.
What to do.
Okay, so normally you cannot think that they know what to do with your email. Sometimes they will open it and say, oh, David, he's so nice, like another email from David, and that's it, and that's the rest of their days. So that happens to everyone. The call to action needs to be so obvious that maybe I would start with those 2 things, maybe direct them to a blog or a website, or try and book some time with them just with a call to action really, really like obvious.
Okay. No, I will revisit the the copy of the emails and make sure that my CTAs are easy to understand and easy to follow. Make it, get rid of that resistance.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
That's really good. And don't be scared to pick up the phone too.
I do that.
You do that, okay.
Anybody who, it's just bandwidth and the amount of time that I have to do it.
Yep.
But anybody who's clicked, like I have a 4 email sequence that goes out. And I normally send each email about 36 hours apart. So they'll get one in the morning, they'll get the next one the following evening. The next one will be a day and then the morning again, not knowing what their schedule is when they spend time on email and stuff. And anybody who is like opened a couple of the emails throughout that 4 sequence, I will pick up the phone and try and have a voice conversation with them, which can be tough, but there's always gatekeepers.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. A question, and we'll move on. How good, or what kind of quality is this list you're getting? Like how fresh is it? How good do you think it really is?
It's fresh. I'm checking like every day or every 2 days for people that are putting up new listings, and I'm using the Government of Canada. Actually, no, I'm using the Government of Canada job site. I think it's called Jobs. It's something jobs.ca. So it's a federal government sponsored job board, and I also am on Indeed. So I'm checking every day. I filter for new listings, so I'm not looking at stuff from a month ago or 6 months ago. I'm looking for stuff in the last 48 hours.
So okay, but so hang on. So these are people actually looking for like full-time bookkeepers,
part-time or full-time. Yeah.
Okay.
Most single unit restaurants do not need a full-time bookkeeper.
Right.
A restaurant doing $1 million, $1.5 million in sales needs 15 or 20 hours a week, maybe on average.
Okay. Okay.
Which is why I like the multi-unit owners, because some of those are 50, 60, 70 hours a week of work.
Yeah. I've got some other feedback, but I want to go to, I want to see if anyone else has questions too, but Andrea has more to say and I want to hear what she has to say.
Sorry,
No,
I need
go,
like
please.
3 hours in this
Yeah,
session.
I'm here. I don't have to leave.
No, I would honestly, you inspire me to give you an advice. Maybe I would literally send out an email saying like the headline or the subject can be still looking for a bookkeeper, like hire a bookkeeping agency instead. And just list the reasons on why hiring your firm is better than hiring only one person. Like why? Because you'll get more experience, because you'll get like it's cheaper, because you whatever. And then if you're interested in like a better solution for your needs, just click here and give me a call. I would do that. I'll shut up. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay. I have to, I'm staying late. If I want to hear from other people too. So if you guys have a few more minutes, but I want to add on to what Andrew just said, because what I wanted to mention to David, I didn't want to take up the time. So here's the thing. I was looking to hire a sales rep for my son company about, God, it might be 8 years ago, 9 years ago. So I put an ad on Indeed. I put an ad on Indeed. I hired a sales agency, recruitment agency, but that doesn't matter. They couldn't find me anyone, but I did have an ad on Indeed. I got a phone call from this guy. It was a phone call. He didn't email me. It was a phone call. And he did exactly what Andrew just said. He said, I saw your ad. You're looking to hire a salesperson. Do you have 10 minutes and I can tell you why that's a mistake and how I can save you money?
I like it.
Okay. And he went on, I hired him, not as a salesperson. He had a process of, instead of hiring, and I don't go into all the details, but instead of hiring an outside salesperson, he had this whole script, this whole program where we hired an in-house person who was like a lead gen person, and he coached this lead gen person. And he went over, but he sent me data. He sent me to a website or PDFs, and then to a website. It had all this data about what it costs to train a salesperson, the amount of theft that happens with salespeople, like they leave and take your clients with them, just all this negative stuff, all the costs, physical costs, emotional costs to the business owner, and you could do almost the same thing. Because basically what you're trying to do is sell people away from hiring a bookkeeper on staff to using an outside agency.
Correct. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Marshall.
Yeah.
And Andrea and
Andrea,
Alvaro, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. I know it's 8 o'clock. I'm okay to stay. I just want to make sure. I want to see if Kathy or Alejandra or Andrea has anything, any kind of questions or anything they want some feedback on.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
want to get some feedback on something. Okay, so one of the courses that I want to get on demand, set up through a webinar or some sort of thing, is my Rec and Leisure course. So I'm kind of just I'm in the process of revising this course right now, and I want to put it into a webinar format and then launch it onto an LMS system of some sort. I know that's going to like, I don't have my own website yet. I just don't feel like I need a website right now. I'm so tiny and brand new. It's like I don't feel like I have any content to really put on one, so I've been kind of reluctant. And maybe I shouldn't be. I don't know, but there are so many different LMS systems out there, those learning management systems, where you can just like, oh, I want to take this course, and you click on it and you pay for it, and boom, it appears and you can take it, right? So I'm wondering if any of you have maybe some experience of LMS systems and which ones that you feel are worthy of consideration.
So you're talking about like, are you just referring to like an online platform, like for courses?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, there are.
That's what
There are like, there's a lot of them.
I
In fact,
know.
in fact, I'm not suggesting this one. It's more for coaches and consultants. Well, it might, no. There are other ones, but because I use something called Attractwell. It might not be for you, but that's what we use for momentum. So basically, people join our momentum program. It's a monthly membership, and they pay, and then they get access to these training videos, and it gets a new video gets unlocked. You don't have to do that. This is what I do. It gets unlocked each week as their member. There are other ones like Teachable is a very easy one. Okay. Teachable is very, very basic. I think pretty inexpensive. Kajabi is more expensive, and that's like automated, robust. Teachable, I think, is really, really inexpensive. Yeah. And you just upload the lessons, and people have access to them. And it takes payment and all that stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
If that's what you're looking for.
And,
I don't know.
And then trying to get direct people to that, like, I guess that kind of falls into some of our marketing discussion tonight, right? Is how do I get people to find my course, right?
Yeah. Well, that's a whole other discussion. I'd be more than happy to have a conversation with you on that. That's what I do all the time, right? And it just takes work. It takes focus. It takes energy. And really, like I asked Dave at the beginning, or Alvaro, at the beginning, with his situation with marketing, you really need to know who your ideal client is. And I think you do, like, more or less, but get very, very specific, and then find out where they hang out, how to get to them, where your messaging should be. I think you do probably need some sort of website.
Yeah.
Alejandra can help you with that. And Andrea can help you market it. Look at this. This is like a conglomerate. This is just like a one. David can be the bookkeeper, right? And it could be a free website. It could be Wix, just something, because you want to have something so for people to go to be able to see what this is about. Or you can probably use something like Teachable, I think, possibly. I'm not sure. Yeah. Alvaro?
Okay.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that the power of having like an informative blog where you can post articles that people can search in Google how to do this, or how would I go on doing that. That can bring a lot of people without doing much effort, just through, and then you can funnel all those people with links into your course. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, if you want to learn more, you can do this. And I tell you by experience, because previously to Activity Finder, I built like a gaming news and website, we had 200,000 visitors a month. So, and it's all through just Google searches and just posting articles and guides that can help people. And there's millions of people searching for those things. So just try to create content. It's all about SEO, keyword research. Try to find what people are searching for and focus your articles on that topic, and try to think how you can then funnel from those topics into your course.
Yeah, thank you.
And also even doing things like this, like what we're doing here today, like it's offering like free webinars, right? That's part of the whole fun, building the funnel, get people into a webinar. Because you're talking about these are, did you say at the beginning, frontline workers?
Yes.
Training, yeah. So, you know, yeah, just get them into a free webinar. People love free. I mean, I think 15 people signed up for this. There's only a few of us here because it's free. So other people, it's like, oh, I've got something else to do. But you do get some people who take advantage of the free and will show up, and it's there you go.
Yeah. Yeah. And my
Another-
apologies. I was late as well today. So I am sorry that you had to text me to remind me.
No problem. David,
Just a quick input. The other way to generate traffic and interest in your courses, your programs, Facebook groups and or LinkedIn groups, depending on where your prospective students, where they spend their online time, you would know that better. But be active in Facebook groups, and don't be in there. Again, the typical networking thing is be interested instead of being interesting. Go in, participate in discussions. If somebody asks a question, give an answer without saying, hey, I have a course for that, you know, for, you know, $29.99, you can learn. Like, just go in and say, hey, I've been doing this for 5 years, 50 years, whatever it is. This is what my experience is this, this, and this. And I'm happy to connect offline if you'd like to talk more. But being active in those kinds of groups and pose questions, like find a question. If you've had 3 inquiries in the last month or 2 of the same question, go into one of these Facebook groups and say, hey, I've got a question for the group. You know, how do you handle ABC situation? And that will generate discussions that you are already an expert in answering, so you can, you know, kind of moderate that discussion. And those are free. It's all not free. They take your time, but they're dollars free. Is another way of just generating a community almost. And eventually it will come out that, you know, it's, oh, this is Kathy. She's that course person who probably has a course around what my issue is or what I want to learn. And you'll become known for that. But you want the group to recognize you as that rather than you in their marketing. Very, very subtle in the marketing in those things is what will win.
So question. Oh, Andrea, you have a question? Okay, I'm gonna let you go. Your stuff is good. You can go before me.
I would only say that if you don't want to invest on a website, use LinkedIn as much as you can. So the algorithm on LinkedIn is actually very useful for people that are trying to connect. It's very forgiving. So whatever you want to post on a website, like a blog entry or whatever, post it on your LinkedIn. And the reason I'm saying this is because when people are investing money to pay for a course on whatever the matter or the subject, they're looking for people with credentials and how you can help them, because you have other courses that are similar to yours in every platform. So I would rely a lot on your LinkedIn. If you don't want to use Instagram or Facebook, I would post a lot on LinkedIn. And if you start to advertise yourself for free, even on LinkedIn, you'll find people that will want to get your course there. And there's an easy way to connect through other people that might be interested by just connecting with them on LinkedIn and not offering anything, just connect and add tons of people and start posting maybe 2 or 3 times a week on small entries of the subject, and then always include the link to your website or webinar or whatever you're doing, and just invite people over, create events on LinkedIn. I would also do that a lot if you don't want to overinvest.
So, well, she just so much gold coming from her today. So the good thing about LinkedIn, like your clients, the frontline workers may not be on LinkedIn. Some of them might, because a lot of people use LinkedIn for jobs, right? So they might just have that on there, but they're probably not very active on LinkedIn unless they're looking for work. But what it does two things. A, if they meet you somewhere or online or in a Facebook thing or here, they'll say, oh, Kathy Peters. They're going to type in Kathy Peters in Google, let's say. Some people will go straight into LinkedIn. Other people just type it into the Google. Let's Google Kathy Peters. LinkedIn has one of the best search, whatever. It comes up right away. Facebook and LinkedIn and Instagram. So it's much better than a website. So I 100% agree. Put some effort into LinkedIn if you're not there already.
Yeah, I have LinkedIn, and you're probably right. Maybe, well, I've seen some staff that I have worked with in the past on LinkedIn, but you're right. Maybe they're not. But the companies that these folks work with are on LinkedIn, right?
Mhm.
So the organizations that these frontline workers work for are LinkedIn. They're also on Facebook. So I have a business Facebook page. I just started Instagram. I haven't done too much there yet. Yeah, so connecting, you're right, absolutely connecting with these organizations, and hopefully I wanted to filter out to people who are even studying to be community support workers or HCAs.
Quick question for you on this. The companies that employ these frontline workers.
Yeah.
Are they hiring you, or is the frontline workers? Are you being hired by the companies?
My aim is to get contracted or to be hired by the organization.
Then
But
yes.
if there is someone,
Yeah.
maybe the organization doesn't want to train their 200 staff in a particular course, but maybe an individual wants to take it, right?
Right. But if your goal is, your objective is for the front line, for the organizations, then 100% LinkedIn. And the other thing you do on LinkedIn, I see you, David, I'm going to go to you in a second, but I lose things fast. It goes in and out fast. So I got to get it out quickly. The one thing I would highly recommend that you do is go into LinkedIn and target these companies. Don't spam them. Don't send messages.
No.
Go into find posts they're making, right? Vancouver Coastal Health. I'm just throwing, I don't know, organizations, whatever. Find a post, read it, like it, like actually like it. If you don't like what they're saying, don't do anything, but comment. Make a comment about how you really appreciate this, or you agree with this, or congratulations, or whatever. They see it, they'll click on you, and boom. David?
You kind of have hit on it there in this last little bit of conversation, but not having a lot of understanding of the type of programs and stuff and who your target audience is. But I volunteer with an organization called the Canucks Autism Network, based in Vancouver. I think you said you were in Vancouver, Kathy, or?
No, I'm in Edmonton.
In Edmonton, okay. Well, that's almost Vancouver. It's not Toronto, at least.
No, it's not.
But I know there's other organizations, and they're not coming to the top of my brain right at the moment, but Canucks Autism Network, their basic thing is providing recreational opportunities for youth and young adult with autism, and across the spectrum, right from nonverbal, non-communicative, all the way up to people you can have an intellectual conversation with. But they have an arm of their organization that works on empowering youth in finding jobs in the marketplace. And they have a whole program where they will work with employers and say, hey, work with us, partner with us. We will, like, for job experience, sometimes, they'll, come in and do like a month's worth of job experience stuff. So they have something to put on their resume. But they invest a lot of internal stuff with their staff, their teams, both paid and volunteers. And I have seen over the last several years, they'll open up the odd opportunity for an online course or an in-person seminar of things around helping them to be better support people for children and young adults with autism. So I'm sure, I know for a fact there are dozens of similar, if not for autism, for other intellectual disabilities across Canada. If you can connect with key people in those organizations, that could be a winner on the corporate end. If you can get, just as an example, if you can get Canucks Autism Network to sponsor one of your courses and put it out, hey, team, we're giving you this course for free, or we're paying 50% of your tuition or something to take this course, that would be a super winner. Because then you're going to introduce not just the organization to who you are and what your trainings are, but individual volunteers or individual support workers might say, hey, I'm going to take more of Kathy's courses because this is going to help me to be better at what I do.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, David.
Perfect.
That's a great idea.
That's awesome. Look at the Alejandra, did you have anything that you wanted to ask?
Well, I was just thinking that Alvaro's business is very interesting, and you might want to consider broadening it to other people that are not necessarily young with them without kids, because trust me, when working parents, you're always like trying to entertain your kids. And I'm just saying, you know, obviously you know better your business. All I'm saying is that you might want to consider that, because selling to kids is a great business. Like kids movies, sometimes their gross profit is higher than other kind of market. I know you're probably like, oh, I hate kids, or I don't know, whatever. I'm just saying, all I'm saying is that maybe in the future, it's something that you might consider. Because what if you get, the important thing is that you get more vendors subscribe to your company. And hey, if you're still, if you make more money, that's what your business is about, right? To make money. But I'm just saying, if you add vendors to sell activities for kids, or maybe just working parents, just everybody else outside your niche. And I mean, I understand that you've done this careful research to define your niche, and obviously that's brilliant what you've done. All I'm saying is maybe you want to consider it, because trust me, I'm a single mom, and I have, like, all of my friends have kids, and it's sometimes it doesn't matter how expensive it is, but my friends, they send their kids to a camping trip to Vancouver Island, and I don't know, maybe it was $3,000, and maybe you get 20% of that. I don't know, just saying that. But
So are
kids,
you referring activities where you get rid of the kids for a
No,
while
no,
and they take
no.
care of them? Or are
No,
you
no,
talking
no.
activities of like parents and kids together?
Yeah, sorry, what I
Both,
wanted to
yeah.
say
Yeah.
is, sorry, I guess what I mean to say is that as a parent, you're willing to invest more in your kids.
Yeah, like,
100%.
That's
well,
just
definitely, like, well,
to
we
make them
think,
happy, not to get rid of them. Okay.
yeah. No, what I mean is, like, definitely, like, our target, it's those people, because we think those are the people that have the money and the time to spend. It doesn't mean that we're not gonna also be able to target other ranges. Definitely, we have like laser tag, which usually like
Right.
7-10 years old people go to, like the parents take the kids to laser tag. We had people contact on our forum, like, oh, we want to organize a birthday party for my 12-year-old on laser tag. So definitely we are going to be adding a lot of those activities. It's not something that we're going to stay away from. But when Marshall asked about what is your ideal customer, what is your target, that is why we chose that age range.
Oh, yeah, no, everything is brilliant. I was just saying, like, hey, you might want to consider that, but that's it. I
but
did not mean to be nosy or anything.
you definitely
I know
brought up
you.
a good idea
That's
about
good.
maybe like a few weeks events that people could, like camping or stuff like that we could also look into. Thank you.
David?
Sorry, I can't figure out how to raise my hand on the platform here. I've been looking at all the buttons and pushing all the buttons, and I can't find the raise your hand one. Alvaro, a question and a comment. Do you charge your vendors to be on your platform? So like laser tag, would you charge Bob's Laser Tag World? Do you charge them a fee to be listed on your website, or so they
No,
can
it's
advertise with you
all
for free
free.
and you just get your commissions if people buy?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. That's a good. So there's no risk for, if I owned a kayak rental company, there's no risk for me to list on your website.
No, absolutely.
So
It's a
reach out.
no-brainer then. You should be able to sign up hundreds of companies in Metro
Hopefully.
Vancouver.
So reach out to me after Aurora. So one of my clients has a very unique recreational company, and they do everything from blast ball to, like, they have all these activities, and it's for adults. They have adult camps that they do, and they have kids camps, but it's awesome activities, and she has different programs. So you could definitely probably connect with her, and she would definitely, I think, be interested in signing up, being a vendor.
Awesome. Thank you.
I popped one in the chat for you as well, Alvaro. I sent it to you in a direct message. Vancouver-based company called Pedalheads.
Oh, Pedalheads
where
is
they,
huge, yeah.
Yeah, they started out just offering bike riding lessons to kids, and now I think they do swimming and some other activities as well. But
yeah,
it was Alex's comment about the kid thing. Like, Pedalheads is geared towards kids.
Yeah.
And it is kind of like a day camp. It's not like a whole day, it's like an hour or something like that. But I'm gonna contradict what she said. A lot of times as a busy parent, it is about getting rid of your kids. And that can be healthy for the kids and the parents to have that separation time. So
yeah, for sure. And axe throwing is a good activity too. Not for kids, but for adults.
Actually, that's the first activity we added, because it was the one that we went to and kind of we started thinking about this platform.
Yeah. So this client of mine, she actually has similar to axe throwing, and she's actually getting her own space. So she has one of her activities is archery. She has a certain name for it, but it's really cool. Anyways, Andrea, I know you've spoken a lot, which is awesome because you've given so much value. Is there anything that you're looking for value from us? Any questions, or would you like to pass anything by us?
No, I think right now, well, I mentioned that I have 3 businesses, so I'll take whatever advice on how to prioritize and focus on things, because all 3 of them I'm very passionate about. One is a digital marketing agency. That's the one that has more growth. I've been doing it for 3 years, but I stopped to focus on the other 2. The yacht rental company is really fun, but it's less profitable. So any advice on how to get Canadian consumers also welcome. And the other one is just still cooking, so I won't talk about that one. But yeah, just I will take any advice on how to prioritize and focus on things, and I don't want to get rid of any of them, but I still don't know how to make them grow enough so that I can dedicate myself to them. So
okay, I have to chime in here right away, because I've been listening to this entire hour and a half or wherever it's been. Okay, so I have a question. No, in a good way. So I have a question for you. Okay. What do you, forget about how. If you could just be doing one of them, what do you really love to do? What are you really passionate about? And you could just see yourself doing.
I do think that the agency and consulting is more my thing, if you haven't noticed.
Okay. I just want to say something. I think the yacht is a great business, but I think it's going to take some time. We've spoken about this, right?
Yeah.
In momentum and before. I think everyone's going to agree with me here. People need you here. I know your digital marketing business is mainly in Mexico, right? Your clients are in Mexico.
Yeah, well, I'm open to have clients everywhere.
I think you should be having clients here in Canada, in North America, because the way you explain things is brilliant. It is so simple, and it's honest, and it's not like, for some people it's a little technical, but that's fine. It's not overly technical. Like it made sense, right, Dave? Like I know Dave, because I know you've been, like, it makes sense, and I think you could do some. Yeah.
Sorry, full disclosure, Andrea, specifically for you, my wife owns a digital marketing agency. So I hear these things all day long, like for the last 7 years. And she'll kill me if she hears me saying this, but the way you described the whole ads thing and the whole purpose behind it, Marshall, I need a copy of this recording for all the advice everybody gave me, and to share that bit with my wife. It was the most succinct, easiest to understand description of how that works. And I've been studying this stuff for 7 years. And I have never, ever seen it described so simply yet but fully ever in all that time. So I agree with Marshall. You need to share that more.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, I think you gave me my answer, and then I'll use the next hour to ask you how, but I'll do it next session.
Well,
I'll use next
I think you're gonna
session
get.
for that.
I think you're gonna get clients faster than you think here.
Okay.
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 And
I'll
Just-
trust you.
just being you, just the way you showed up. I mean, and honestly, here's the thing. You show up, you come to other, if in Momentum or Connect and Collaborate, or if you go into a BNI, like some other networking thing, you show up and you talk like this and add value like this, your perspective on things like this, the way you did it. That's how we should all do it.
Mhm.
We're not selling. Not once did I hear you say, I have this digital marketing agency. I'm looking for clients here in Vancouver. I've got this, blah, 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 right? You just gave value because it came from your heart. But you did it in a way that was so high quality and high touch, right? We have a couple of hands up.
Thank
Ali,
you.
so, oh, was that just sort of like a high five? Or did you
No.
want to say,
Oh, me? Oh, I just
Yeah.
wanted to say I'm gonna go now,
oh, okay.
but I just, it was really nice meeting you all. It's just I quickly sent a message in the chat, but then I was like, well, maybe not everybody read it, but I just want to wish everybody, of course, a lot of success, and I'm very proud and happy for you. And I hope I see you next time. Thank
Awesome.
you. Very
Thank
nice
you,
meeting you.
Alejandro. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Alvaro?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that after Andrea just finished and explaining everything, my first thought was like, why is her not full name here so I can search her on LinkedIn in case I have any questions or any consulting in the future about marketing. So definitely, I think it is something you should pursue in Canada and try to grow it, because I think it's something innate in you that you have like the talent for it.
Thank you. I appreciate you all saying that. Thank you.
Anybody else want to add anything or a question? That's it? Okay. Andrew, do you have a couple minutes to stay on? I just have to ask you something.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, okay. I guess I should stop the recording in a few minutes. Thank you, guys. Do you guys want the copy of the recording? Okay, perfect. And
I
if
need to
you
be able to replay the advice from Beryl and Andrea.
bring some flowers home first.
Yes.
Honey, here's some flowers. Watch this.
Yeah.
And Kathy, if you want to have a chat offline, offline, just further about your business, just reach out to me. You know where to find me.
Thanks so much. I appreciate it.
Because again, I think if it's like with Andrea's got all these businesses going. I think this is the one thing that I'm really passionate about, is helping people get focused. So if we can just have you focus on the clients that you want to work with, where it's actually quite simple. We just have to do it and be consistent. Where they are at, like where you can find them, and then deliver your message consistently in a clear, concise manner. Kind of like how Andrea delivered her messages to Alvaro, to the rest of us with the feedback. It was very clear, concise, right? And yeah, and that's it.
Very good.
So thank you, everyone. David, have a great rest of the Friday.
Thank you. Just crashing into the weekend here.
And we hope to see you all. If you guys want to, oh, I should mention, probably difficult for David. If we do Connect and Collaborate, first and the third Mondays of the month at 11 o'clock Pacific time. I think that's probably the middle of the night for David. But for the rest of you, if you want to meet other business owners and chat about business, it's posted in the Facebook groups. Come and join us. Alvaro, was your hand still up, or did you have a question? Nope. Okay. Awesome. Have a great rest of Thursday for the rest of us, Friday for David, and a weekend, and take care.
Good night.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.